Last time I had a generic, the announcements of the direct entry, but this time there are 4 that clearly stand out against the rest of the announcements. Besides, it's not like the new Denpa is exactly surface level material. Here's a brief description of these announcements because they are, of course, very surface level. Mario and Luigi Brothership. It's the first Mario and Luigi game since the closure of Alpha Dream, centering on their brotherly bond and a boat. Super Mario Party Jamboree, the nth Mario Party, and second on the Switch. It's Mario Party. This series doesn't tend to break new ground very often, but this is the first Mario Party game to feature both new and old boards in the same game. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, the first 2D Zelda of the Switch era and first Zelda game overall to have Zelda in the starring role. It focuses on the strange rift spreading across Hyrule and Zelda's quest to save a kingdom. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Metroid Prime 4. It's Metroid Prime 4. Furukawa tweet. Early in May, Furukawa took to the official Nintendo Twitter account to announce that there was, in fact, something resembling a second Switch in production. More relevantly, he also announced the Nintendo Direct to take place in June. June Directs were always a known quantity, even after the closure of E3, but to my knowledge this is the furthest the Nintendo Direct has ever been announced and advanced. It was just really good. Even outside the 4 headliners I mentioned in the prior layer, this Direct was just really good. There were announced remaster collections, including Ace Attorney Investigations 2 and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Dragon Quest HD 2D, and the esteemed Danganronpa 4. The death of Pyro from Twitter. Pyro has, since around this time last year, been an incredibly popular and reliable leaker, but before this direct they barely leaked anything at all, only saying to manage expectations, which, if anything, was an anti-leak since this was, as mentioned earlier, a really good direct. This lack of firm detail is speculated to be because Pyro's source, specifically, seeing sites being made and uploaded in advance of an announcement, drying up. A Bloomberg report reached out to the bird who said that they get all their info from a Nintendo employee with mysterious methods, but said that the website theory was a reasonable guess. When the article was published, Pyro responded by tweeting, "What the fuck? I didn't know they would include my responses in the report," and privating their account, which reflects an incredible naivete on their part. The Legend of Link. Following the announcement of Echoes of Wisdom, many people made the clever observation that Link was not the protagonist. This was followed by the much more astute observation that this now means that the game style has the name of the protagonist in it. This was followed by the infinitely more earth-shattering realization that it would be funny if the name was instead called Legend of Link. Send a post. Among Us Date Leak. On June 7th, a trailer for an upcoming Among Us update scheduled for June 18th was accidentally released early. Internet users noted that the trailer said the update was releasing the same day, from which it was easy to conclude that the intended upload date was June 18th. Speculation followed that the trailer was intended for some presentation, specifically a Nintendo Direct, since most of the other gaming companies would be busy at Summer's Game Fest. And they were correct! Midori controversy. Pyro wasn't the only leaker to get busted, so to speak, this June. Also on the chopping block was generous leaker Midori. Midori had built a persona, of being a Japanese woman with insider information about Sega, who had more recently branched out onto leaking info about Square Enix and Nintendo. Just a week or so before the Direct, she was revealed to actually be some white man in America, specifically a previous leaker who was much less reliable. He only leaked a few things relating to Nintendo, mostly codenames which are probably still accurate as they are believed to be gotten from crawling Nintendo servers, though their surrounding details may not be so lucky. This one really funky leak. The pre-direct leak culture was rather lax due to Pyro and the lack thereof, but there was still just enough room for people to say the most wild shit. Take this image, which, as far as I can tell, was just randomly posted to Reddit one day. It claims announcements related to Pokemon Legends ZA, Metroid Prime 4, Sonic X Shadow Generations, and Silksong. It also claims the complete announcement of Pokemon Black and White remakes, an FE4 remake, ports of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD, a port of Mario Party The Top 100, a remaster for an unspecified amount of Skylanders games, a third Hyrule Warriors game, and ARMS 2. Most people quickly brushed off this leak as fake for obvious reasons. Psylocke's Moctroids. In Metroid, the Metroids have a very particular look to them. Green blob with 3 balls in the middle and things at the bottom. But notably, the Metroids at Psylocke's side at the end of the Metroid Prime 4 trailer do not fit this description. Instead, they only have one of the balls. This is something they share in common with the pre-existing enemy, Moctroids from Super Metroid. The theory goes that these two creatures are one and the same. Echoes of Wisdom might be bad. So, Echoes of Wisdom, 2D Zelda game where you can copy objects to help you solve puzzles. Sounds good, right? Wrong. Some people have been fearing that the Echo system will introduce the same issue that Tears of the Kingdom had, with there being too many solutions for just one puzzle. Also, something about sexism since Zelda doesn't use a sword. Really, this all comes down to whether or not you like the multi-solution style that Tears of the Kingdom brought to puzzles, or if you've had enough with it, or if you think it should be kept separate from 2D Zelda, or some other factor that I haven't accounted for. Personally, I'm fine with it since I am none of those things. The 100-line Last Defense Academy is just Danganronpa 4. Since the Danganronpa series ended, it's been clear that it would be hard for the creators to escape its shadow, and the 100-line Last Defense Academy has made this clear. Like, come on, you have to survive with the mascots and 15 other students, and it's the post-apocalypse. Also, they say the word despair at certain points in the trailer, so there's that too. Silksong! People thought there would be Silksong at this direct, and I'm not exactly willing to say that they're wrong, but I don't think they're right either. Pikmin 5. As above, so below. The 100-line Last Defense Academy really is just Danganronpa 4. As mentioned earlier, the 100-line Last Defense Academy looks pretty Danganronpa-y, so what if it actually is? Supporters of this theory point towards it really looking like a Danganronpa 4, and it just kind of seeming like the thing that Kodaka would do. This is the joke level on this iceberg. Wow, this video ended up being way shorter than the other Nintendo Direct Iceberg I did. I guess it's because, like, well, there certainly were more big announcements this time. There wasn't much substance to those announcements, like, well, maybe it's not that there wasn't much substance to these announcements, but more like Side Order's re-reveal at the September Direct last year was through the roof with substance. There was a lot of things you could talk about with that re-reveal. And also, aiding that iceberg was the saga with the Smash Amiibo restocks, which are, it's funny to say the least. People really thought that no Amiibo were going to be new Smash Fires.